I think the most significant event that's going to happen in our lifetime is when we establish a means of communication with the collective unconscious of the intelligence of the sea. So dolphins and whales, I think, are the ambassadors to the collective unconscious of the mind that has been evolving in the sea that we haven't had a means of communication with. And that AI is actually allowing us to start to talk to dolphins and to start to talk to whales. And I think that we're going to get a language from them that's going to actually fundamentally change how humanity constructs itself, and that something on this planet is going to happen when it's like the two hemispheres of this planet that have been co-evolving but haven't been able to talk to each other for millions of years are going to get the opportunity to. And it's already starting to happen. And it seems to be that AI was the prerequisite that was required for us to start to talk
Yeah.
to dolphins and whales. And I actually know some of the people who are a part of this project
Yeah.
where they're using AI. So like Tristan Harris, the dude who has been like the Paul Revere of the AI,
Yeah.
he is one of the main consultants of this group that's trying to use AI. So there's a group of people, I wish I remembered the name, but their whole thing is, okay, AI is here. What is the most good cause that we could possibly point AI at? And I don't know how they came to this conclusion, but the conclusion that they came to was trying to learn how to talk to dolphins.
Mm.
And I personally think, for reasons that I don't understand, that I think that's going to actually be our arrival moment. Because check this out. In the movie Arrival, the artistic intuition is to make the spaceships look like pods.
Yeah.
And pods is what we call groups of dolphins and whales. And the artists who created the soundtrack for that movie, for whatever reason, intuitively chose to use the sounds of whales and dolphins.
Mm.
Like the sounds that the aliens make are actually whale sounds.
So there's something really interesting here. So essentially, like what you're saying or proposing, right, is this the sense in which our way of, you could say, um, inserting the good, the true, and the beautiful into the matter, right, has to do with a massive different kind of reading or listening and speaking that in that movie Arrival, my son Forrest, who's 21, since he was 16, every time we get together, he wants to watch that movie again. There's something about that movie that's just, and it's this sense of where, yeah, it's a reading of the symbol that is, that you read it with your life somehow, right? It reads you and you read it. There's something about this that's hearkening to, in some way, what Goethe was really trying to do with his science, right? So a lot of people understand Goethe as the poet who wrote Faust, right? But really, more what he identified himself as was a kind of scientist in a certain sense. In his work with biology, he would say something like this. He says, normal science tries to understand nature by measuring the shape of the letters, right? So imagine that, trying to understand a book by looking at the shapes of the letters and measuring it, and then trying to make your way to what it means. Versus, and he thought that nature, we needed to learn how to read nature like you learn how to read a sacred text, right? So a lot of his science or the methodology had this deep participatory observation of a deep kind of listening to the plant in such a way that you could start to hear the species itself speak, right?